These Canadians keep saying how civilized their gun laws are, how Americans shoot anything that moves. Thing is, they haven't had a reason till now. The animals were harmless. Now they're dead. I've counted 5 dozen. Amateurs, looking to become heroes, want to be the one to bag Bigfoot, to bag the baby killer. They don't understand. No animal would stick around in this kind of war zone. Idiots are shooting at ghosts and shadows and animals. Say your prayers, bub. It's time to meet your maker. If he'll take you.
Please. No, I beg you, don't.
You what?
I beg you.
That's it? You beg me and I'm supposed to change my mind and feel remorse? Why? Because I can understand your pleas, see in your eyes that you don't want to die. It's unfair that you're defenseless and mean me no harm, yet I have the power to blow your head off. Now you know how they feel. Those animals that you and your friends are slaughtering want to live just as much as you. Difference is, they can't beg. Nature's been taking care of them for thousands of years. Survival is their goal, and keeping the species alive. A simple formula until man becomes a factor. You know, if they could speak and say, please don't shoot, I beg you, I don't think we would. Our consciences wouldn't let us. But they don't, and nature wasn't kind enough to give them a trigger finger, so the killing continues. Fortunately for you, I'm in a generous mood tonight. You spread the word to your friends that killing is wrong. Make sure they get the point. Oh, one more thing. You breathe a word of our meeting to anyone, you won't be given a chance to beg.
Sure, okay. I promise.
No further words were spoken. None is needed. Kind of funny, though. Don't think I've ever seen a fat man move so quickly. Hope his friends don't shoot him. But seeing as most of his kind are usually quite simple and a bit forgetful, he might just need a little reminder. Hunter's smart enough to tell folks that kids vandalized it.
I know exactly what you mean, Peter. All this killing and hysteria makes you sick, doesn't it?
Yeah. Excuse me a minute. Melvin, you aren't actually going to eat that mess, are you?
Ketchup and donuts? Sure, love them.
Please, Mel, don't put that in your mouth. I haven't slept much and my stomach is empty. So unless the aroma of barf sounds appealing, I'd abstain.
Geez, Peter, what a lightweight. I'd have figured you to be tougher than this. But after the way you reacted to some of the medical pictures of the mutilated boy, it's understandable. On the other hand, I don't quite know why they'd release those photos but say the tests were incomplete. Usually they would do things quite the opposite. Pictures aren't the norm. Maybe there are just different rules here in Canada. The inspector and his crew seem to be aggravating the reporters more than anything. Why would they want to add hassles to this case? Guess they like all the attention. But the way information's getting out, it's only making this town more paranoid. You think they'd be holding info, not throwing out flares. Good point. Things are getting too crazy. But you can hardly blame them. 2 kids mauled by some monster, hundreds of media teams crawling everywhere. Not the usual diet for this town. Speaking of which, if you move that bottle 1 more inch, I'll... Sorry, Pete. Must have lost my... head? Jeez, looks like a riot out there. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Give you time to finish your donuts in peace.
Butcher, fanatic, lives are at stake.
What gives you the right?
You can't shoot everything.
Listen, I'll crack your skull.
Hey, pal, what's up?
Somebody leaked out there they found over 100 dead animals. So Greenpeace groupies are exchanging opinions with the Rambo types. Top it off with the nosy reporters, and we've got us a day that me and the missus can be proud of.
I can see that you're impressed with this, too.
Say, you ain't one of them, are you?
No, I'm from Chilliwack.
Big city slickers. Don't need 'em. Especially them troublemaking Yankees. They don't understand nothing. Ain't no Bigfoot out there. Just a critter the Indians call Wendigo. Of course, no one wants to listen. Especially them Yanks. Guys seem to steal everything. Our pride, our exports. The worst of it all, they even stole Gretzky from Edmonton. What kind of hockey player'd want to live in sunshine all the time? I tell you, boy, he was brainwashed.
Nightfall. Ditched Melvin. Now I can do my own investigating. Anything to speed up this mess so I can get back to Mary Jane. Wouldn't have taken this assignment if I'd have known it would drag on this long. Unfortunately, I've got to stay in the shadows while I'm here. It'd be too easy to figure out that the Peter Parker in New York of Webb's fame is also in Hope, BC with Spidey. I don't need complications. I need answers. The biggest mistake I've made so far is not bringing the thermal underwear. Melvin thinks there might be answers at the top. I still can't believe he eats donuts and ketchup. The man's touched. Hope the RCMP building is this way. It is, but 2 hours go by before the payoff. Finally! Just about frozen to death. You'd think they'd have the courtesy to show up when I did. That's how it works in the comics.
Listen here, lady. You got something to say, then say it. Otherwise, I've got problems to deal with. There's 400 reporters, environmentalists, and rookie hunters I'm trying to handle, as well as keeping this town in some sort of order while the media makes a circus of it.
Poor you. People tell me you leaked the body count of the animals to the representative of the Humane Society. You're creating your own problems.
If I give any information, I'm causing hysteria. I give up none, it's a cover-up. You got any suggestions? I'm all ears. If not, then let me do my job.
Your job doesn't include causing a riot. You're supposed to stop them.
Just because you broke the story, Miss Brooks, doesn't give you permission to slander. So why don't you go write your next story about flesh-eating monsters and sell an extra 10,000 copies?
Spidey, my boy, things are definitely starting to heat up. So that's the Vancouver reporter who ran into our so-called Bigfoot. Or as the old man said, Wendigo. Time to catch a fly, Spidey. Too bad I can't scare it. But there are other ways to extract info, namely the famous, but often underused, Parker persuasion. It's not for nothing that the babes swoon over me. Betty, Gwen, Felicia, Mary Jane, the list is endless. Who are you kidding, Petey? The real reason you want to get answers is to get home to your wife sooner. And in the meantime, try to rid this place of some godforsaken monstrosity. I hope the boys, at least, died quickly.
Can here. Someone bring Luke Thorpe. I don't care what it takes. It's time we took the offense. If anyone can track this creature, Thorpe's our man. Yeah, I know. Then sober him up if you have to. Also, have 10 men standing by. We're gonna have Thorpe lead us to it, and we're gonna get rid of this headache once and for all. What? You tell them to shove their policies.
Better make this quick. Don't want to lose her. There she is. Well, Peter, time to go to work. Excuse me, miss. Thought you'd like to know that this creature you're chasing is called Wendigo. From the Indian myths? It's a flesh eater and has white fur. Sound familiar? You want to get a coffee? Bingo! That's pretty impressive research you've done. Didn't know the Wendigo was as popular as Bigfoot. But the bit about it actually being a person cursed with a creature's spirit and body is a bit much. Still, if a guy like Thor can exist, then anything's possible. What I can't understand is why. When they have an expert coroner from Calgary, the RCMP insists on shipping results to Vancouver for another opinion. Seems like the red tape is more important than comforting the dead boy's parents. Can you imagine what they must be going through? I guess in a small way I can. Lost a girlfriend once. Thought the world of her. Was the first time I was truly in love. We even thought we might get married. But I couldn't protect her. Couldn't help. Now I'm happily married to a woman who gives my life more meaning than I thought was possible. Still, can't help but wonder how things might have been. Then the guilt sets in for even thinking about it. But I can't forget. It wouldn't be right either. Sorry for your pain, Peter. I gotta tell you, you sure break the typical New Yorker stereotype all to pieces. Huh? Oh, excuse me, Anna. I don't usually feel sorry for myself. It's just the thought of those boys and that thing. I know what you mean. The story has gotten way too personal with me, too. Unfortunately, I've got an editor back in Vancouver who expects my column every day. And to tell you the truth, Peter, I could use the boost that this story has given my career. Not to mention the extra money. My job is to write something that sells papers, even if I don't have all the facts.
Nightfall. Finally. Time to check out where the first boy was found. Reporter said creature laid boy out on road. This is it. No blood. Just some moss and dirt left behind. Stench of rubber still strong from the reporter's car. And my suspicions are correct. But now I've got a trail. Didn't want to believe it was back. Then why'd you come? Your instincts are always right. Wendigo. This country keeps turning its myths into reality. Now we've got a baby killer. Creature's sin is like a beacon. Only thing interesting is the smell of the dead animals. Nice rationale. We can't find one creature, so slaughter another. Eventually we might be right. Humanity. What a concept. Fortunately, I won't live forever. Here's where the boy was buried. The ground is still moist with blood. Nature's way of giving me clues. And unless my senses have gone haywire, which they haven't, this area is in big trouble. Gotta find someone in town I can trust. There are other bodies out there.
Thor, where are we headed? All the reports have been from the west end of the summit.
The man's a loony, John. He's also good at what he does. He must have his reasons.
Yeah, well, I wish he'd let us in on some of them. How many more hours are we supposed to spend out here?
The guy moves through this forest like a man possessed.
Maybe he is.
Great.
Behold, gentlemen, your treasure. No one move.
Now look at what you've done.
Guess I'd better try and find Melvin. He's probably wondering what's going on. Promised Anna that I'd keep her facts to myself. Might as well get a good night's sleep. Looks like another dud evening.
That wasn't an animal scream I just heard. The Wendigo's just been found. By fools.